I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, and welcome to the Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld after show. My name is Kari Lane, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Alice herself, Kayli Mills. Yay!
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
How's it feel to be Alice? Let's start with that. Like, whoa, join this big franchise.
Yeah, so for one, like when I was in high school was really when SAO started. And I was like, wow, how cool would it be to like be in a show like that? I watched from the time like the sub came out and the dub. And so to have even had the chance to audition for this franchise, I mean, I never thought that was going to happen. And then to now be such a big part of it is just, it still blows my mind.
That's super exciting. And we're talking about a really cool episode for her character today. We're talking episode 2, Raids. And oh my goodness, this was such a cool episode from a viewer's perspective. What was it like for you as an actor? Because I mean, we've seen Alice, but I feel she's really stepping into her own now.
Yeah, for real. I feel like the entire first part of Alicization, like you don't really get too much to the core of Alice, and like you have younger Alice, and then you have Night Alice, who's really a completely different person. But she goes through an incredible change starting in like this arc of War of Underworld, and I think episode 2 is really where it just like hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then as an actor, how has that journey been for you of playing Alice in different ways? I mean, obviously there's the part of it as an actor and also as how you're directed, but how is that on your end?
It's an emotional journey for sure with her, because it's not just, oh, you're now playing this feeling and all this. You have to know like what's going on inside of Alice, because she went from this is what I thought I was to that's not at all who I am, and I don't know who I am, to it doesn't matter who I am because this is what I want to do. So she just kind of went from, oh, maybe I don't deserve to do this or interact with these people, but really she cares about these people, and she's like, nothing's going to get in the way of me protecting these people. And that's really what she shows in episode 2 is like her resolve there, which I think as an actor has been like bringing that strength in has been a really great experience.
Absolutely. We do have a live chat going, so welcome everybody in the live chat. If you're watching live, please feel free to put in your questions. And if you're watching later, comment down below. We'd love to know your feedback on the after show and what this episode entails. Also, I wanted to say real quick, I found it really interesting watching it. Like, you have such a nice, gentle, and soft, natural speaking voice. I like your Alice. Like, she's tough, but still sweet. How did you find Alice's voice?
Well, Alice is actually, like, she's very much in a different place from a lot of the characters I've played before. So with Alice, like, her voice, like, I guess my natural placement, I would say, is, like, here. It's pretty light. Alice really comes from a place of strength, like, from her chest. So I've been working a lot with Alex in, like, keeping that voice there. So it's resonant. So it's lower in here, and it's grounded. And it makes you feel like she's really, like, connected to where she's at, and, like, she's standing strong.
I like it. That was cool. Live display of the voice acting. Yay! We're in the voice actor studio, essentially. Yes. Nice. So in the beginning of this episode, the village is under attack. Alice leaves Kirito, like, peace, I'll be right back. You're not going to go anywhere anyways. Poor Kirito. And that hero landing, oh my goodness. I mean, you didn't physically do it, but did you have a kind of like, oh, I landed? Like,
I was so excited. I obviously, I try to watch the episodes before I get there when I can. So when I saw that, it was just like a big, like, I felt that. And I'm glad I could feel that happened as I was, even if I didn't record that, like, that was still a part of what I was playing off of and feeling.
That's a question. So when you're watching it, do you try to take on, like, those physical moments? Because it does affect how you are, like, how we stand affects how we feel.
Oh, 100%. In fact, even like, if she's like overexerting herself or something, like, you do want to get that breath in. But even just for how she stands, like when she's Night Alice, Alex and I worked a lot on how I'm going to stand when I do that voice, because, you know, she can't be hunched over like this. You're standing up. I would have a lot of the time like one thing behind me, and I'd even like keep my hand here sometimes to keep myself grounded. Oh. So I'm like, you know, I am Alice, and like you're really there, and that physicality is a big part of how I act with Alice.
That's super cool.
Any character, but
yeah, no, it's nice, wonderful. we have kind of a throwback of a question from Sharka Frank says, question, what are some of your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh moments?
Oh, so YuGiOh, sweet boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, for one of my favorite YuGiOh moments is figuring out that I was going to be cast with Brandon, because Brandon and I actually, he lived with my boyfriend and I for a little bit when he moved to LA.
Yeah.
So, when we both got cast for this thing, like, we were just like, the thing. Are you in the thing? I'm in the thing. We just like freaked out about it.
Yeah.
YuGiOh has such a good heart, and I honestly, like, I was heartbroken so many times during the first season, and but I just always thought, like, how he was always there and was a friend for Kirito, and like Kirito has all this like crazy things going on, even though YuGiOh is under, you know, the code, under the seal of the right eye, he still is like, he puts his heart in like what he believes in above everything else. So he's like Alice in that way, and maybe even Alice learned from that a little bit.
Oh,
I think.
totally.
So I think that's a really important part of YuGiOh's character. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Miss YuGiOh, I know.
I know, right? Okay, so this actually kind of leads into what happens next. Natsu Dragneel says, hi, Kayli. When Alice returned to her village and reunited with her father, Alice told him about her memories being taken away for her crime. Did you like that moment with her father?
I don't know if like is the word I would use. It was
What
really,
did you think of that moment? How's that?
it was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because Alice was like blaming herself. She's like, I don't know if this is my fault. She sees what like this has done to the family, but also like she wants to be there for them, and her dad just completely like can't deal with it. It was really hard.
I think she has a lot of compassion and empathy, because there's that moment where she's trying to reason with the villagers. Like, you guys need to leave. And they're so autopilot of, we need to follow the rules, we need to follow the law, and not using any, like, just reason besides what they've been told is the only thing I know how to do. And even Selka's like, wait, no, we need to listen to her.
Yeah.
And Alice never comes across as like, y'all are idiots or anything like that. Did you ever approach it that way, of how you have to explain to people something and they just really don't understand?
Yeah, I just think about what she wants, and it's not like, oh, I want to be listened to. It's like, I want these people to be okay. And I think at first she tries to approach it gently. She doesn't want to use her status as an integrity knight. She doesn't feel like she even deserves to use her status as an integrity knight. But when it comes down to it, she's like, the only way that I can save these people is to be like, you guys, I know better. I'm a freaking integrity knight. And if you guys want to live, you're going to have to do what I say, because I care about you. Dang it.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a great moment, too, when she takes the cloak off and reveals to everybody, even Selka, because Selka didn't know. And Alice is like, sorry, I didn't tell you. But I think it was a great moment. How was that moment for you in the booth of Alice gets to show everybody, like, no, this is who I really am.
Yeah, it was really empowering for me, because I felt like, she's like, you know what, being an integrity knight is a part of who I am. And maybe being Alice the villager is going to be a part of who I am as well. Like, she doesn't have to completely choose between one or the other. She doesn't have to abandon who she is as an integrity knight, or who she wants to be as a person. Yeah.
I think it's also was interesting and complicated with her father, because her father has been so... He's too stuck in what his rules are. So as the integrity knight, I almost felt like he had a little glimmer of being proud of her, of like, okay, or respect. At least he had respect for her then.
I think he definitely did, because when he's like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do what she says.
He's like, all right, now I'll listen. Then we have the moment with Ayamori the Dragon. Oh my gosh. When it blows so many goblins like away with the fire, did that feel like a draconus kind of thing for you?
It was the coolest thing ever. One of the coolest things I think about Amayori and Alice's relationship is, before everything happened with the Pontifex, the dragons were basically under like a spell, or like almost, I wouldn't call it a seal because it's not the same thing, but they basically had to obey the integrity knights. But after everything happened, like, they were pretty much freed from that, and Amayori chose to stay with Alice. Yeah. And chose to listen to her command and like be there for her. So like, their relationship, I think, is actually really interesting too. Oh yeah, it makes it more powerful, right?
Yeah, because it's by choice, not being forced to. We kind of talked about it in a way, but if there's another one, Kindle in the chat asked, what has been the coolest scene when voicing Alice?
The coolest scene. I think they're coming.
That's been,
some of them.
I was going to say, that's aired.
Yeah, the coolest scene that's aired.
Or when is it coming and we should be looking forward to it?
I'm trying to remember what episode it is.
Okay.
But I think as far as like the first two, it's definitely when she just sheds that cloak and she's like, I'm an integrity knight, and you're gonna do what I say. I just thought that was so cool and such a change from her. She kind of went through such a timid place of I don't know if I can do this, and to like no, like 100%.
Voice of authority.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. Renji in the chat says, even though the villagers have souls, air quotes on that, they pretty much just follow their programming. That's true. But that makes the characters like Alice and YuGiOh, when they break those moments, more compelling and exciting.
Yeah. And like we don't know too much about like how the code was like put in place or who it was put in place by still. But it's interesting because even though they're the only characters who've really broken the seal, there are characters who mention that they felt like the pain in their eye, and you'll see more involved with that, where they're not the only ones who can break it, and you see this light side and this dark side. I really like in this season that you see more of the dark side and how human they are as well. Yeah, especially I think the end of episode 3, but we'll talk about that later.
Also, the moment, I don't have the exact quote, but it was something when she removes the eye patch and Alice says something of like, I will fight for what I want. Oh, that was such a moment watching, like, she's choosing her choice. I'm doing my thing. What did you think of that time?
That was also definitely one of the more powerful moments, because it was what I want and what I believe, and it was also very much from the heart. Yeah. Because she wanted to protect the people. Yeah. It wasn't like, she's like, I'm going to be selfish, but her selfishness is like how she's going to save these people and how she's going to love them.
Absolutely. Then she gets, the great destruction of her flowers, essentially. That great sword move, and then I like how the goblins go, peace, the rest of the ones who didn't die. It's essentially hero pose, like, go away.
Oh, yeah, just no problem, just look at the wrist, gone.
Yeah, flick the sword, get the blood off, and be like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. Oh, do you practice, like, sword moves and whatever when you're recording / after or in the move, like, if she has some kind of...
Yeah, like when they do the enhanced armament and stuff, I would like almost always have my arm up. That actually took a lot of takes for me. Oh, yeah. Because I wanted to definitely keep it in like a deeper register. So even if I was raising in pitch, I wanted to make sure my voice wasn't cracking and stuff. So we did that a lot of times to make sure that like that was a strong move because she's definitely like not afraid. She's not. She's completely in control in that moment.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much power in it. And like, it's like delicate but like destructive. Yes. We have Shark in the chat said, what was your reaction to the new SAO villain Gabriel?
Gabriel scares me a lot. Because he is legitimately like a psychopath, and that's scary. Like sometimes, with a villain, you can really find a superhuman part of them that you can, you're like, I understand where they're coming from, and like maybe they can like make a change, or like maybe they're doing the wrong thing for like the right reasons. Yeah.
There's maybe some little nugget of logic in there, even if it's bizarre. You go, oh, okay, sure.
But with Gabriel, you're just like, all of this is terrible, and there's not going to be any getting through to this person through the heart at all.
Kenton in the chat says, how's Alice going to deal with Kirito being dead weight?
I don't think that she sees him as dead weight, because I think if Kirito wasn't there, she wouldn't have been able to make the progress that she did. True. And she also still sees him as the person that's going to bring an end to the war, I think. Yeah. She really believes he's going to get better. As far as him, fighting at the same time, you'll see what happens with that, but I'll just say that Alice has a lot of people on her side, whether she knows it or not, that will probably help her out.
Yeah. Well, also, I would say she wouldn't see him as a dead weight because she can handle things herself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if she needed help, then maybe she'd be like, oh, no, you can't help me. But it's like, I got this. Hold on. Go take a nap.
But she definitely has absolutely no problems with protecting Kirito. Yeah. Like, in fact, like she's pretty honored to like
Yeah.
take care of him and everything.
Absolutely. So that's kind of the main chunk that happens in the world. Then we get a step out and we're on the Ocean Turtle under attack. Our main crew has retreated. I'm glad they're okay. And I mean, you're not there, but as a viewer then at this point,
Yeah.
is it interesting seeing? So you're involved with the world within a world. How do you like it as a viewer watching what's happening outside?
I like it a lot because you're so immersed in this other world, and then you're like, wait, this is what's actually happening, and it's just it's a completely different world. Obviously, time moves differently there, at least for a while. I think it kind of ends up being in tandem in a while, but that hasn't really happened yet. Yeah. But it's kind of scary because you're like, at any moment what are they going to do on the outside that's going to affect all of this stuff that's been happening inside that?
Because they could blow it up.
Yeah.
And be like, oh no, everybody's died or something like that.
Yeah, and then like at this point, really no one understands the real world except for Kirito, who's not. Yeah.
I'm just curious that moment of like trying to explain to people within the world, be like, so you're not in the real world. There's another world, but your world is real for you.
Yeah.
and it would just be like head explosion, or they just wouldn't be able to get it.
I think we're gonna find out later in the season
okay.
how that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I think people like Alice, though, could handle it, and maybe Selka and like the people, but some of the other lower levels.
Alice has had enough time to think about kind of that there is an outside world that she'll be more accepting, but and she'll probably be a good person to try and explain to the other people living there since that's her world. So we'll see how that goes down.
Asuna, I like that she's, worried about Kirito and puts Kiku in his place of like, if he dies, anything happens to him, I'm going to hold you personally responsible. I'm like, well, I like her intention, but I don't know what she's going to do. And I'm waiting for when Alice and Asuna meet each other. Just saying, I feel this is going to happen.
You guys are going to love that so much.
Yeah, because it's like, we're going to have that later. All right, pretty much, like, they're locked out of getting Alice's Fluck Light. There's no outside help or anything. It's pretty much been 2 years for Kirito, and pretty much Asuna is probably going to dive in. So that pretty much wraps up episode 2. We're going to talk about episode 3 as well, so look out for that video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe so you can be up to date when we have more episodes. We're going to have even more guests as the season goes on, and super huge thank you to Kayli for joining us and talking about episode 2. It's super exciting.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And where can people find you online and learn more about you?
So I am on Twitter and Instagram at Kayli Mills, which is just my name with no spaces or anything. KayliMills. I post a lot about, I post a lot about like random memes and random stuff like that, and also some fitness and health stuff with a little bit of voiceover.
Fun. No, it's a good variety.
But you'll be able to find out what I'm doing.
Nice. Cool. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane. Thank you so much, everybody, joining us with the questions. Go click on the link. There's a link already available for episode 3. We'll go more into that and discuss further. Again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.